Hey y'all, so this is a part one of a two-part discussion video on the Best Picture Oscar nominations that I made with my friend and fellow YouTuber, Luka Hoyte. This video will primarily focus on our thoughts on the films nominated for Best Picture, and Luka's video will focus on what we would nominate for Best Picture instead. If you like this video and you want to watch part two, just jump right over to Luka's channel and watch it there, link in the description below. As always, if you like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and as always, enjoy.
Hello, we are here.
Hi.
This is me. I'm Luka.
And I'm
yeah.
Timmy from Tim Jong-un Productions. So, why
Yeah,
are
I'm
we being
Luka
so
from-
awkward about this? Like,
Yeah, I
we met
know.
before. I don't know,
Yeah.
like, is it just
I think
because
it's-
we're recording?
I think it's number one because we're recording, and number two, like I literally just started that out of the blue, and we kind of.
I understand. Yeah, I didn't really, we should have really planned this out sooner, but whatever.
Yeah.
This is just what's happening. So yeah, as you could probably tell from the title, we're going to be talking about the Best Picture noms, mostly just shitting on them, but still talking about them, as well as our thoughts on what we think we should win, what probably will win, and then probably give our choices for Best Picture.
Yeah.
That's about right, unless I'm forgetting
I mean,
something.
probably we are good.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, you wanna talk about the Best Picture noms?
Yeah. Let's start off in no particular order besides alphabetical order.
So that is in order then.
Oh.
I
Well, not
mean,
in
you said
order
no
of-
particular order, but then you
Oh
said
yeah, no, this is
alphabetical
a
order.
particular order. Okay, Belfast. That's the first one.
Yep.
So, what did you think of Belfast?
Do you want to introduce Belfast first?
Yeah.
Or-
So Belfast is a movie directed by Kenneth Branagh. I think that's how you say his name. Branagh, who's directed very shit movies from what I've seen.
What shit movie is for
like,
anyone who needs to catch up?
Artemis Fowl.
Oh,
and,
hot.
The train one.
Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah.
Yes.
It
that
wasn't
one.
so bad. It was just so fucking boring.
Yeah, true. This is more of like a personal movie for him, I guess. Kind of like this trend that's been happening of directors kind of just exploring their lives in film. And yeah, this is a movie that I didn't really connect with. I thought it was pretty boring, honestly. But you can tell that it's definitely something personal to the guy, which is cool. But yeah, wasn't something that I was really into.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much on the same boat. I think I might have liked it a little bit more than you.
All right.
It at its core, it's still very much what it is, which is like a bullshit Oscar bait, like soap opera or whatever, where it's like, oh, it's trying to like do the things that it is because it clearly like wants to win Oscars and stuff like that. So, and the reason why I like this a little bit more is because, like you mentioned, this is clearly like a personal film, for Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
Like he based a lot of like what happens in the movie based on his own personal experiences living in Belfast, living in Northern Ireland. So
Yeah.
in that sense, I respect it. I respect this way more than some bullshit like King Richard, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, like I feel like there's a sense of like emotional connection. Like when I was thinking about this was like, this is just Roma, like the same way like Roma was a personal film for Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah.
Like this is a personal film for Kenneth Branagh. This is nowhere nearly as like well made as Roma in my opinion, but I think like they're trying to go for the same thing. So
Yeah, I don't think this was in any means like a poorly made movie. I guess it was just one that I mean, there were a few things about it that were kind of weird. Like there was some editing stuff that was weird, and like the opening montage was just so cringe. I couldn't.
Oh, the fucking 360 like spin while like the fucking like that was
like all
that
in
was
color.
cringe. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
don't know. Come on, like really, Kenneth?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it wasn't a poorly made movie. I just didn't really connect with it like at all. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it's not like, yeah, I mean, what else really isn't much to talk about it, because like there really isn't much to say. Like, it's not a poorly made film. I think for the most part, a lot of the acting was pretty good. I think Kieran Hines, I think that's how you pronounce his name, like he's nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and I thought he did a good job. I thought Judi Dench also did a pretty good job. The guy from the 50 Shades of Grey movies who plays Kenneth's dad, he was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. So like the acting was like never the problem. In fact, if anything, I think the acting was probably the best part of the film. It's just, it's like what you said. It's like, technically this is a well-made movie, but I just did not give a single shit about anything that was happening. Like, I just didn't emotionally connect with what's going on. And I thought, maybe this is just me, and you can disagree with me if you want, I thought the black and white like cinematography of the film like literally added nothing to the movie. Like, there were a few moments where
it had a purpose.
Only time I was like, wow, that was actually kind of cool, is that like when they go to the movie theaters or whatever, when you look at like them in the background, like it's black and white, but like when you look at the actual film that they're watching, movies are clearly like a form of escapism for this young kid, because he's like, you know, he's living through such like shitty conditions and stuff like that. So like stuff like that was kind of cool, but like other than that, the black and white cinematography didn't really enhance anything for me. It's like, wow, like this is like a flashback to the past. Like, yeah, that's cool, but like every other movie has like done something like this before. So it's like, I don't know what it is that you're doing that's like breaking ground, or like what new thing are you trying to say by using this black and white cinematography?
No, I definitely agree with you for some aspects, like especially with the cinema or like the movie theater stuff, like like kind of like also just the sense of like wonder, and like for the time period, like the fact that their movies were actually in color, like especially the wonder for like this child seeing it in this like, you know, kind of black and white world, or like toned down world. I think that was really well done. And I think just like the past like setting, definitely like, oh, black and white, come on, that's really cheesy. But I think it did have like some thematic sense, like near the beginning of the movie, like there's like two sides to like the road, and like the split, like the little civil war kind of thing, and you can kind of see like that as like black and white, you know, two separate sides opposing each other, like two opposites and stuff like that. I think it was definitely the most creative part from the film, and it wasn't really like distracting or meaningless in any way. But that was like the only thing where I was like, wow, this was like actually really cool how they did this. But the rest of it like was like meh.
Did you get the impression that like the kid actor didn't really feel or sound like a kid?
I think he was a good actor.
His performance wasn't bad. It's just that the things that he were saying was like, you're not saying like things a kid would normally say. You're just saying things that an adult, like who's imagining what a kid might sound like, is saying, if that makes sense. I just wasn't convinced by the dialogue that he was saying.
I guess it depends how old he was supposed to be, because at points he did feel like very much like a kid, like but he was like doing like simple like math equations in school, so I don't know how old he was supposed to
but then
be.
he just says shit like, oh, like this girl I have a crush on, like I want to marry her no matter what. I was like,
that was a bit
like,
weird.
I don't know, maybe because I didn't have things like that when I was younger, but I was like, this sounds like an adult trying to pretend to be
somebody
a kid.
needs to get this kid like some Lego, like that's all I'm getting
or
from
just
this.
Or just like watch more cartoons, you know, like, do that.
But
I don't have any more. I was gonna say, I don't have any more to say about this film. It's like, I mean, what else is there to say? You know, it's well made, it's well acted, you know, but that's about it. You know, I didn't really emotionally connect with this film, and judging from your opinion, you didn't really emotionally connect with this either. So I'd give it like a 5 or 6 out of 10. I don't know, one of those things. So
I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10. I'm never gonna watch it again.
Me neither. So good job, Kenneth. You did an okay job. So
you did a good. That wasn't Artemis Fowl.
It wasn't Artemis Fowl. It wasn't the fucking murder on this vehicle of transportation one. It was pretty okay. So CODA is a film. It's basically the premise of the movie is that it follows this deaf family, particularly this one character I'm struggling to remember her name because I literally forgot most of this film. Ruby, yeah. So it basically follows this girl named Ruby. She's like the only person in her family who can hear, and she basically has this dream of becoming a singer, becoming a musician, or whatever. And so that's what it is. It's the story of her like trying to pursue her dream, but also like remaining committed to her family and like their fishing business, and like, you know, creating that balance. Just basic generic Oscar bait related shit. It's directed by Sion Heder. I hope I said that name correctly. I'm not really familiar with this person's filmography, but what did you think about CODA? I didn't really like this a whole lot, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously, like you said, it was very generic and very like formulated.
It was also so fucking cheesy. Like, I was getting annoyed by like how cheesy and like yeah, and like it was like watching a Lifetime soap opera movie to the point. Like, I swear to God, every like fucking Tinder like noise that came up or like fart noise, I was like cringing so hard. I was like, God damn it, I don't fuck all of this shit. It's like it's so cheesy. It's like I can't believe it.
Yeah, it was definitely cheesy. I think the best way to describe this film is like a Disney Channel original movie, except if the director actually cared about the characters and the story that it was trying to tell. Mm-hmm. Like, it follows the same beats and same cliches and same like kind of production level, I guess. But yeah, I think it was sweet, and I did actually like it quite a bit. Like, I don't think it was the best thing ever made, and I don't know if I will watch it again, but I don't like regret watching it. Like, I think it was a nice, sweet little time. It was a pleasant little film. I would say that it was pleasant. It was watchable.
I will give it that. It's not boring.
Yeah.
It does have a sense of charm and personality to it, but again, it's like so a thing about me is that I generally do not like these like generic Oscar bait movies that are like clearly trying to like be the thing they are because they want to win Oscars, and like that's just what this whole film is trying to be. It's like, oh, I want to win some Oscars, so like let's think of the most cliche way to like do that. Like this entire family's deaf, but they're also going through financial problems, and the main girl wants to be a singer, but she also needs to remain committed to her family. It's like, are you serious? Like, this is every like plot beat I've ever heard fucking ever. And like, I get it, like it's not trying to be this like groundbreaking exceptional piece of filmmaking. It's not like it's not trying to be like Stanley Kubrick or anything like that. I understand that, but for a premise that's like so interesting, I don't understand why it went about in the most generic way possible. Like, there are plenty of movies that have tackled like a similar situation like deafness before. Like a movie like Sound of Metal last year. Like Sound of Metal was a really great film. Like I really loved not only like how it was presented, but also like the way it tackled the same subject matter. So it's like I can't give this movie a pass just because it like tackles like something particularly unique when like another movie that has done something like this like already did it better.
I definitely agree that Sound of Metal was like a better movie that like had a deaf character in it. But yeah, I don't know, I guess this is definitely like a crowd pleaser, and honestly, if this just makes like a deaf family happy, then that's all cool and chill. Like, I don't see it as much as like Oscar bait as something like the other movies here. I think what this movie, like, it definitely is like treading that water, definitely like, oh yeah, we're gonna go win some Oscars, but I think it is just trying to be like a silly little family thing.
Well, that's
and
the thing,
I don't
though.
hate it for that.
But that's the thing, though. It's like, I'm not really comfortable calling this Oscar bait either, because like clearly the director and like a lot of the cast members are really passionate about this subject matter, but like the way it's presented, it almost like seems like that's what they had in mind. So it's like, I don't know, it's like I can't, like, I'm not really for that at all. It's like, I look, like, if you're passionate about something, that's awesome, and I want them to go about that in the way that they feel comfortable, but like the way that everything is presented is just so bland. It's just so generic, you know? And I don't know, maybe it's because maybe it's because my soul has been sucked out, but like I'm not really for cheesy like Lifetime movie shit or whatever. So like
Yeah.
things like that wasn't really for me at all. But
Yeah,
to give
no.
it some praise, like the acting was really good. I liked all the acting. The
No, I think
dad was nominated for best
Troy
supporting actor.
Kotsur, I think
Yeah,
his name is.
I think his acting nomination was justified. I don't think he gave a bad performance at all.
Yeah, no, I really liked his performance. It was very he's an actual deaf actor, so
Oh yeah.
that's like something too. Like, but yeah, no, I think just like his performance in general was like well done, but then just like the physicality and like lively elements he kind of brought to it in some scenes were I really like that.
Oh yeah, I think
like there's like the one scene where he's like imitating like a soldier, and I think he achieved that really well, and he's definitely like a very funny kind of quirky character. And yeah.
Yeah, he has a lot of charm and charisma to him.
Managed to convey a lot of like emotion, despite like them literally not being able to speak. Like, and I think the movie achieved that well. Yeah, I do agree with you in the sense that like I also hate fucking dumb cheesy shit like that's supposed to go on like some random like housewife TV channel. But like I don't know. I think there was just some elevated details in this film that kind of like just make it slightly better than like something that is totally like cheesy, like a dumb Netflix rom-com movie, you know? Like I think the emotional moments of this movie kind of worked very much well in the end, but like throughout the movie it was kind of like really weird and forced at points, but that's just yeah, I don't know. I didn't mind this movie.
I didn't mind it either, but yeah, there isn't really much for me to say. So
yeah, I give this one like a 6 out of 10, I think.
5 or 6 out of 10. This one is more leaning towards a 5 for me because, like I said, I like Belfast a little bit more than this. So
all right, yeah, I definitely like this more than Belfast.
I think our next film is Don't Look Up. You can introduce this one.
So yeah, you don't want to do that.
I don't want to do this at all. So
Don't Look Up is the new film from Adam McKay, which is a director I'm not familiar with at all. I don't think I've seen anything else that he's done.
I am too familiar with Adam McKay, but yeah.
And after this movie, I don't think I want to watch anything else he's done. Yeah, so pretty much this movie, it tackles this kind of cool and kind of insane concept of a comet is going to hit the Earth in like a limited amount of time, like the span of like a year or like a few months, and these two like scientists, space people, like discover it, and they're like, oh shit, we gotta let the world know that a apocalypse, a world-ending comet is gonna hit the Earth, and takes this concept and makes something so unbelievably cringe and just, I don't know, like based, but in a bad way. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, just trying to appeal.
No, I understand. Yeah.
To like normies, and like, I don't know how to describe the plot without like spoiling or trying to make sense of it. But it's
we can go in spoilers about this because I feel like I can't really like dig deep into how much I fucking hate this piece of shit without spoiling the film. I mean, if you can, then like go ahead. In that case, I'll try to
So pretty much what happens is that they go on this like whole big like social media political stance where there's a group that wants the comet to be destroyed, and there's the government side of the politics of the film want the comet for harvesting, potentially causing the world mass danger. And it just goes into like this cringy like mass online like event. It's just such a shit movie.
I know. I think I hate this shit more than you. No, I don't think. I know for sure I fucking hate this film more than you. Yeah.
I think before we completely obliterate this movie, I will say, I mean, I know Timmy fucking despises it. I think there's like two things that I kind of liked about it, and that was the concept, as I said in the beginning of like the summary kind of thing. The concept is kind of cool, and like any person that's like smart at like writing comedy or writing like social impacting things will like could actually make a smart kind of funny thing with this concept, but no. And I do think that maybe just like one or two jokes are kind of funny, but that's it. That's 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 where my likes for the film end. Sorry, I'm so bad at talking.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about
yeah.
it. So yeah, I fucking can't stand this film at all. Okay, I want to get this out of the way. I am someone who agrees with the politics of this film. Like my issues with the film aren't like political in nature. I mean, they never are, they never should be, but like in case anyone like wants to say something like that, the politics itself is not the issue with the film. It's the way the movie,
what are the politics of this film though?
That like, America and Trump are bad, that global warming is bad,
so.
That like fucking like partisanship is bad. Like,
but that's like something that like any like normal person that's not American
I know,
would agree
and
with.
That's what makes this film so fucking frustrating. It's like, this isn't a movie. This is just Adam McKay like stepping on a soapbox and just saying all the shit that literally everyone fucking knows. Everyone and their grandma knows. Like, this isn't new shit. We fucking get it. Like, oh wow, like, you know, Meryl Streep and Jonah Hill, they're like Trump and Don Jr. and they like do bad things and like they're incompetent. No fucking shit. Like, who else could it be? Like, I'm not stupid, Adam McKay. I know what you're going for. Stop treating me like I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah, like, why don't you make something that's like kind of actually smart at conveying like this kind of message, and not something that's so in your face and so like just shoving so badly down your throat that, oh, this is the politics we're going for, and we will constantly tell you about these fucking stupid politics until literally the very last second of the movie. Like,
because it's directed by the same guy who directed Anchorman and Step Brothers and Vice. Like, subtlety is not Adam McKay's strong suit at all.
Adam McKay is
Adam McKay.
Honestly, he should go off an Adam McKay after this movie.
He should. The fact that this movie is nominated for fucking anything at all is so embarrassing, but it's nominated for Best Picture of all things. Like, I don't know what's worse.
In our top 10 list later, like, I don't know how any of those movies weren't nominated, but this was. Like, how? Because
the Academy is stupid. Because they're fucking idiots. Because they think this shit like this is good because of the political nature of it. It's why his previous films, Vice and The Big Short, were nominated, because like they say this like big profound thing about like some sort of political or economic like situation in America, but like he goes about it presenting it in the most poorly way made ever. Like, I've seen his previous two films. I've seen The Big Short and Vice. Like, Vice was seriously the most boring fucking shit ever. Like, and I study politics in college, and if I thought it was fucking boring, then like I can't imagine like what normal people would think of it. I mean, not to say that, you know, I'm not a normie, but like still. And then The Big Short was like fine. It was okay. It was carried more by its like insanely like good cast more than anything. It's got like Christian Bale and Ryan Gosling and Brad Pitt and all these people.
This movie also had a stacked cast.
Yeah, but they were so poorly used. Like, how the fuck did you get such massive cast for such an unfunny script? Like, I laughed once in this film, and I no, that's giving it too much credit. I didn't laugh. I chuckled, and it was the line, "Nothing matters, buy cryptocurrency." That was the only time I chuckled. That and like when Ron Perlman starts shooting his gun like up in the air and like while being drunk and stuff like that. Those were the only times I chuckled in this film, because this movie just isn't fucking funny at all.
No,
like
it's really not.
It's one thing if it rams like the political nature down its throat, but if it was at least like somewhat funny, then I would like be a little bit more forgiving of it. But it's not fucking funny at all. I didn't laugh a single time. It's like, and this is supposed to be a comedy. Like, what am I supposed to get out of it if I don't laugh? Like, the political nature? Well, I don't like that shit either. Then what am I supposed to get out of this? And how did he get such an absurd cast? Like Leo DiCaprio, Jonah Hill, like Meryl Streep, Cate Blanchett, like all these people. Like, how the fuck did you get this absurdly famous cast for such a shitty of a script? Like, I don't understand at all.
Money.
Oh yeah, obviously, but
money.
But like, DiCaprio isn't the type of actor to just join on a piece of shit, you know? Like, he chooses his scripts very carefully. What's the last like bad Leo DiCaprio movie? Come on.
Okay, yeah, true.
Yeah. Oh well, actually, The Great Gatsby was pretty bad.
Yeah, I was about to say the Great Gatsby was really shit, but like, I don't.
Yeah, it's just, it was so unremarkable. It was so not just unremarkable, it was so cringe. I cringed every 5 to 10 minutes of the film. It's like I couldn't fucking believe it. And it's like it's trying to be like weirdly trendy at the same time. Like it's got fucking Ariana Grande and like King Cudi and like all these. Yeah, it's like it's doing the Twitch thing where it's like, oh, like Jennifer Lawrence's like freak out or whatever that goes viral or whatever.
Yeah,
I was cringing all the time during those moments. Yeah,
this was like the movie for Twitter that like Free Guy was the movie for gamers. Like,
oh god. That's actually
like they had like
comparison.
that like the mass online shit. Like yeah, I know, but yeah, I know it's true. Like this movie, oh god,
this movie was for 12-year-old babies on Twitter who don't know.
We haven't even talked about like the presentation
oh
aspect.
God, it
like,
was dog
the
awful.
Edit was like really bad. Like
it was like some Bohemian Rhapsody level editing where they like cut to a different character every 1 to 2 fucking seconds.
Yeah,
like Jesus Christ.
And like the stupid like shit of like the like text coming on the screen and like the logo like of like the space station. Like this is the logo for the space station. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, no one gives a shit about that. Is that supposed to be funny? Because I don't think no one cares.
No one cares. It was. You know what I was thinking the entire time when I was watching the film? I was like, this movie is clearly trying to be something like Doctor Strangelove. Like, because this film and Doctor Strangelove are structurally the same movie. They're trying to like tackle this like incredibly tense like political issue that like could be catastrophic for not just the United States but like for the world in general. But they're also trying to like play it off for laughs. They're trying to like make fun of it. It's trying to be like this absurd comedy or whatever. But the reason why Doctor Strangelove like succeeds at what it's doing is that first and foremost, it's funny. It's like a really funny film. And it's an incredibly well-made film too. It's like the directing's great. The cinematography is really great. Like the writing, the editing, you know, the acting, it's all really great. It's like, yes, it's in a way you can look at the film as like a soapbox, like preachy movie where it's like nuclear holocaust is bad or whatever. But it's like, that's never the forefront of the film. The focus of the film is that it is first and foremost a movie. It is a great movie, a funny film that is well made. And like the political nature is it's not in your face either. It's very subtle. I mean, like as subtle as you can get about nuclear apocalypse. But like with Don't Look Up, they said fuck all that shit. Like let's just throw some random bullshit and just preach for 2.5 hours. Like I don't know what I was supposed to get out of this other than being annoyed.
Yeah, no. I honestly don't have anything else to say.
I mean, I could go on for like an hour about how much I hate this, but I feel like we need to move on to something else, and I think I might have a heart attack if I keep talking about this. Yeah, so 1 out of 10 for me. This is such an embarrassment of a movie. I can't believe this was nominated for Best Picture, so.
Yeah, probably like a 3 out of 10 or something for me. Like, it was really bad. Like, yeah.
I mean, who am I kidding? I can't believe it. Of course the Oscars nominated this shit. Okay, and I think the next film on the list is Drive My Car.
Yeah, you definitely do that one.
I'm very happy to talk about this. Yeah, Drive My Car is a Japanese drama. It's 3 hours long. It's directed by I'm gonna pronounce this terribly, but here it goes. Ryusuke Hamaguchi. I hope I said that correctly.
I think you said that decent enough.
It's based on a short story of the same name by Haruki Murakami. And yeah, like I mentioned, it's a 3-hour long drama. It basically tells the story of a theater actor who recently became a widow. He had this kind of a close but also somewhat strained relationship with his wife. Once she dies, he kind of goes on this journey of self-discovery by like going to this like theater production and like, you know, directing a play that he was famous for performing in the first like 20 to 30 minutes of the film. And he develops this close relationship with his chauffeur, his driver. And yeah, it's just like it's a 3-hour long drama where, you know, characters kind of like rediscover themselves. They're kind of going through some sense of emotional and mental scarring and damages that they endured within their past, and they're just trying to rebuild themselves back up. And this, by exploring this relationship between the theater director and then the chauffeur, and to a lesser extent, like this young actor who used to know the theater director's wife before she passed. Like, it's a really really dramatic and really like interesting character study almost of these people trying to build themselves back up, trying to rediscover themselves. And if Don't Look Up was literally my least favorite of all the movies nominated for Best Picture, this is easily my favorite of all the films nominated for Best Picture. I love this film a lot, and I can't wait to hear what you think. So,
well, you'll definitely disagree with me, but this was a movie that I just didn't really connect with. The length, I personally really felt. Like when it took 40 minutes for like the intro to like come onto screen, or like an hour, that's when I was like, damn, all right. This is it is a long movie. It does take like a while for things to start up, and then they're kind of slow a bit again, and then they eventually do go somewhere. Eventually. I don't want to be kind of like that kind of person where it's like, oh, the book's better than the movie.
Go ahead. Tell me about it. I've never read the short story, so like you can fill me in on all those little details.
So I haven't read the short story either, so I'm not even in but I've like someone that I am close to is very like really likes the writer's work. So the writer of the short story, Murakami, loves his stuff. So I've like heard about this story, the short story, and I've had it like summarized to me on like multiple occasions. And I just feel, again, this is like a very like loose opinion on the short story, so I can't really say this for a fact or say this for anything. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like from what I learned from the short story, and then the fact that story was translated to a 3-hour movie, I feel like just the runtime isn't justified for what the story in itself has managed to convey in such like a small format, you know? Like, either I think I wish they did something more cool with the concept, like maybe like if they were going to make it 3 hours, like maybe they had it like in real time or something, like real time word for word the story, like because that could be something cool, like constantly in the car, like something like I'm thinking of Ending Things or Taste of Cherry, like something real time like that, or if it was just shorter and got like around quicker to conveying like the kind of like psychological elements like expressed within the short story. And the film eventually does do that, and those parts of the film were great. But yeah, I just think the length and just the pacing and the fact that it took a while for me to eventually get to the bits of the film that I wanted to see was just kind of like a turn off for me, and something that I couldn't really connect with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. Like, I understand that this is not everyone's thing, and I completely get if someone didn't really enjoy this as much as I did. I think like I kind of agree with you in the sense that like, so like the first like 45 minutes to like an hour, I was genuinely confused why this movie was 3 hours long. Cause like, I agree with you. I was feeling the runtime. I was like, Jesus, I was like, are you serious? Like, what's going on here? But there reached a point, and this has rarely happened for me when watching a film, where it's like, it reached a point where my opinion of the film did just a complete 180. I was really bored and uninterested, but then when it got into a certain point, so I guess like spoilers for this film, when they got to the point where the actor, the young actor who used to know the theater director's wife, when he's telling him the story about like during sex, like she would like, you know, make up these stories that he would record, and that she would turn them into screenplays or whatever, or something like that. And he's like, she was telling me this story, but she never got to finish it because like she never got to that point or whatever. But the young actor is like, oh, I know the ending of that story. He's like, yeah, she told it to me once. And it's implied that the wife cheated on the theater director with this young guy. I mean, like she's been cheating on him like with other people in general, but like it's implied that she cheated on him with this particular young actor.
Well, she does, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he does, but I'm just saying, yeah. So,
yeah.
And like she tells the rest of the story to him, and he tells the rest of the story to him, and it's like it was at that moment where I was like, holy shit, like I completely understand now, like why not only like the purpose of the first 45 minutes to an hour, but like why this film is so long to begin with. Because you mentioned Charlie Kaufman, because surprisingly I was thinking of actually Synecdoche, New York, in the sense, because Synecdoche, New York is also a long movie, but it feels justified in its length. Like I feel the runtime in Synecdoche the same way I feel the runtime at this, but I think that's the purpose of the film, though, because like the purpose of the long runtime, you're supposed to feel the run. At least I thought I was supposed to feel the runtime, because like we feel this like overwhelming weight upon this situation that the actor is feeling at the same time, because like, you know, time has passed since that first 45 minutes, but like you can tell that he's never really gotten over it. It's why like he doesn't want to play the character that he played in the first 45 minutes, and why he casted this particular young actor to play the character that he used to play, because he sees himself and in that particular role. And then you can tell like this insurmountable weight, this stress, like it's building and building and building upon him, and the only times that he can really like feel a little loose is when he's like bonding with his chauffeur, and when they drive out to her hometown, and they like, you know, they go to like the destroyed home where like she mentioned that she let her mom die there or something like that. Like it was kind of like at a sense of like emotional release, like we can finally let it all out, because he does, like he cries, he's like, I hated the fact that my wife, like, you know, like she was cheating on me, she never talked to me about any of this stuff, the same way like the chauffeur's mom like basically abused her. So it's like it was them like coming to terms with like who they are, their struggles. Like they finally can accept the fact that like they don't need to be held down to the past, they can finally move forward to the future, they can finally like be like more hopeful people. And that's exactly why like the last 20 minutes of the film are in a way like completely different from the rest, not just in tone, but just in like in atmosphere, and like in the way that it's shot and stuff like that. Like that last 5 to 10 minutes where the chauffeur goes to the grocery store, she has a dog, and like they're driving to, I'm assuming where like the theater director is at right now, and it's like it's so much like it was such a build up to these things, you know. It's like, yes, I understand it's really long and it takes a lot out of you, but it's like it's one of those films where it's like it rewards you for your patience, you know. You feel rewarded for the fact that you sat through this 3-hour long thing. Like it gave you that really satisfying, at least for me, it was a really satisfying ending.
So I think you're definitely on the sense where like the reward actually like really hits you, and for me like the reward was there. I do agree that like those aspects of the film were really great, but I think just the runtime and like trying to connect with the elements of the story before these really great elements happen just didn't really work for me personally.
Yeah, you know? And I understand. Yeah, like this is not everyone's thing. I totally get it. If it doesn't connect with you, that's fine, you know. So just but I think like the best films are definitely that. It's like the best films, like sometimes they're just not going to connect with you. There are certainly plenty of movies that just don't connect with me at all. So yeah, but that makes sense. But I feel like we can at least agree that like, so this film, from what I remember, I think it won Best Screenplay at the Cannes Film Festival, and I thought the writing was really excellent. I think, if anything, I think the writing is like the best part about the film, but I don't know if you disagree with me or not. So
yeah, I don't have any disagreements with that. I think like it was a well-made film, like definitely, and it definitely had like a really cool basis of a story to like go off of, like in the writing department, and I think the writing was really well done. I think it looked really good. I remember like some aspects of the score which were really good and used very well. I think the performances just felt a bit like bland for me.
Really?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the chauffeur I totally understand. Like that's totally her character. Like she rocks that. But I think the main dude, I know he's like going through like this bit like obviously heartbreaking kind of moment, but I don't know. I think I wanted like some more flair in it, you know?
I don't know. He kind of reminded me of like a Charlie Kaufman protagonist or whatever, just kind of like a down on his luck like artist who's like lost his way and like is like kind of emotionally reclusive and stuff like that. Like he kind of reminded me of that, so I wasn't as mad about that as you are. So yeah,
I just think some of his delivery just felt like he wasn't like really good. Like I think in the scenes where he was directing people in the plays was done very well. Like how he like conveyed emotion there. But I think in like the beginning, like I think it was mainly the scenes where he was still with his wife. Like he just felt like, I don't know, he just felt kind of like a boring kind of character. I think maybe that was the point.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure. No, honestly, it was really cool to like actually hear an opinion of this film from someone that really loves it. Like I think because I didn't connect with it, I didn't like kind of get all these interpretations. So
yeah, but at the same time, yeah. I'm pretty happy that like you're not just parroting like, you know, everything that I'm saying. Like it's good to have differing opinions.
Yeah,
like some
not
films
just like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, I definitely agree with what
No,
you're saying.
you're wrong, okay?
Wow, okay.
Yeah, we can give ratings for this film if you want. So,
Yeah.
10 out of 10 for me. Yeah, obviously. I love this film. I really wish this wins Best Picture. It probably won't, but still, a guy can be hopeful, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd give it a 5 or a 6. I think it was just something I didn't really connect with. And I've given it 2 chances. I don't think I can watch it again. Like,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Is Dune.
A Dune Boy by Denis Villeneuve. So
by Desert Vill. I was trying to make a joke, but
what joke was that?
I don't even know.
I think it's your turn.
Right.
I think it's your turn, so you can introduce a Dune Boy.
Okay.
So
I have to introduce Dune, even though I'm not the biggest fan, but it's fine. So Dune tells the story of like Timothée Chalamet and a stacked cast of very distracting people in like a space desert kind of place on this planet, and there's kind of like these different factions. These they're opposing like beliefs and opinions, and like this war on like this valuable resource called spice. And it's not actually like spice, it's like some actual valuable shit, but they call it spice because I guess it's some fantasy world. And it's like part one of a bigger thing, which is one of my kind of problems with it. But yeah, it's just meant to be like kind of like the space spectacle kind of thing, similar to like big kind of science fiction-y stuff. And like some people have like powers and shit.
The drug doing drugs makes them have powers. They have
drugs and like cool body armor that's kind of inefficient, but yeah. And yes, that's Dune. That's what Dune is like. The valid experience. Yeah. What did you think?
I really liked Dune. An important thing to keep in mind about me is that I don't love Dune just because it's like a cool sci-fi like epic or whatever, although like that's part of it. It's just I really like the director Denis Villeneuve, or Denis Villeneuve as we like to call him. He's made some really great films. Like I love Villeneuve, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, like I love Blade Runner 2049. I think it's better than the original, if you ask me. I like Arrival, I like Prisoners, Sicario, all this other good stuff. So yeah, he's never really made a bad film in my opinion. So like just from like his filmography alone, I was really excited. And yeah, I liked a lot about it. I really appreciated a lot about the film. You mentioned like the cast was like pretty distracting, and like yeah, I guess I could see that. It wasn't as big of a problem for me because I think everyone fit their roles like pretty well. Like I really loved Oscar Isaac in the movie. I think he was easily my favorite character in the entire film. I think Aquaman was like suitable for his role. Like I didn't mind him as like
I think
Duncan Idaho.
Timothée Chalamet and Space Zendaya were definitely the most out of place. I was like,
I guess so, but like I got used to it. I got used to it at a certain point. I was like halfway through the film, I was like, okay, like I don't. Yeah, they're still Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya, but like they're playing their characters well. Like if anything, I thought Timothée Chalamet was actually pretty good. I think he's a pretty good Paul Atreides, a pretty good. If he's like the Frodo of this universe, he plays a pretty good Frodo. And I think like. Yeah, there was a lot to appreciate about it. Like I really liked the scope and scale of the film. Like the cinematography, who did the cinematography for stuff like The Mandalorian and the new Batman film. I think like the way the cinematography was captured was like really great. It created this like grand scale, like epic scope, like that I think matches a lot of like some of my favorite sort of epic scale like movies like this. Like I was getting a lot of Lord of the Rings vibes in the sense that like the way the movie is shot and the way that like the special effects were utilized utilized, like especially like the sandworm sequences, like when Josh Brolin's character and like Timothée Chalamet are like holding onto that ship and they're looking at like the giant sandworm like eating like that giant like space truck or whatever. I thought that was really cool. Like a lot of like special effects were well utilized like that. Not all the special effects were like good. Like obviously Timothée Chalamet in that like fucking Power Ranger suit like looks
that was so
god
bad.
awful. That was dog ass. So I'll give you that. But like I thought for the most part, a lot of the special effects were pretty good. So like all the stuff with the Barrett, I thought was pretty cool. I was like, oh yeah, this is like this is some fucking Slender Man like tall guy like bad guy, and like I really like all of this. So yeah,
I do agree that the special effects didn't look necessarily bad, but also like the whole thing was kind of literally just in a desert, so there was nothing like particularly exciting. You know,
and like the
with
sandworm sequences, or
no, besides those were cool, but like I don't know, none of like the first time I saw a tree I was like, oh my god, there's a fucking tree, that's insane. Like that one like scene that has the trees, I was like, damn.
I think this is all because of Star Wars. Everything in Star Wars has taken place in fucking Tatooine and like desert planets, so like that might have something to do with it.
Why doesn't someone make a cool planet? But I guess the whole thing is that this is Dune and the whole thing is desert.
And I thought like a lot of like the allegories, like there's a lot you can reference in terms of like current like political and military climates. Like this is clearly like an overt like reference to like the invasion of like the Middle East and stuff like that. Like I thought that was like kind of cool, the way where it's like we could see, even though this is a science fiction tale, we can see like elements of like our real world like into the story of Dune, I guess. So yeah, I mean like I guess like I like this a little bit more because like I'm kind of craving sort of like a Lord of the Rings style like epic like blockbuster driven by like a really talented and like strong like artist, like I missed like a Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie or like a Peter Jackson like Lord of the Rings film. So like when this comes along, I think that like this itches my back in the same way those films does. So like it's not like a perfect movie or anything.
The thing is with that, like when the first movie is part of like a greater whole and like the first movie like isn't that engaging, like it's kind of in a weird like limbo right now where like if the next movie is really fucking cool, then that automatically makes this movie better. But if the next movie is really fucking shit, then that automatically makes this movie shit. Like I don't feel like it stands alone like as a movie, I guess. I don't know. Like I feel like it needs the other movie. Like for me,
I don't know. Like, but I feel like you could make the case of like any of these kinds of movies. Like, Fellowship of the Ring, like doesn't really stand on its own without the rest of the trilogy. Two Towers doesn't really stand on its own without Fellowship or Return of the King, and the same goes for Return of the King. I feel like this is like you can make this same statement about like any like part movies. Like this can't really exist without like the other part because it's all telling one continuous story, you know. So
yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. I think like when I watch like the first Lord of the Rings, like I can watch it and then like I can just leave it off and not watch the other ones, and I'll be like, damn, that was sick. But with this, I'm like, okay, but they kind of
not much happened.
Like they kind of ended it in a place where like you want to see where it goes. Like I know they did that for the first like Lord of the Rings too, but like I think there's enough in the first movie to engage with than like in something like this where it's kind of setting up the universe, you know.
That's fair. I guess that's fair. I don't disagree with it because even though I really like the movie, this is still technically not really a full movie. This is only half of the movie,
and the ending was kind of cringe.
It's like this is only just the beginning or some shit like that. I was like, oh god,
that was
fuck off. That was cringe. I don't know though, but it's like I guess like for what I saw and like what we're given so far, I like what we given, and like I want to see more. You know, I want to see a part 2, and if Dennis ever makes a third film, like make a trilogy of Dune movies, like I'd be pretty down for that. Yeah, so. I'm a bit more forgiving of stuff like this if I know a second part is coming and there's like a fulfillment of a story, then like I'm a little more forgiving of stuff like this, because like what else do we have like as a point of reference? Like just the shitty David Lynch Dune, which like tries to cram the story of part 1 and I'm assuming part 2 into like a 2-hour long movie. That's just, you can't do something like that. It's like
just so many books. Like apparently there's one main book, but then there's like so many like other side books, like my friend was telling me. Like,
oh really? Yeah.
Like I don't even want to know how much Dune lore there is. Like, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I think a lot of like my problems with this movie was that number one is like this definitely isn't really my sort of thing. I find it really hard to get into a lot of sci-fi like space kind of movies, like Star Wars, or like pretty much even like generic space movies like Interstellar, or like okay, well, not too generic. No, I'm really into 2001, but yeah, I don't know. It is harder for me to like get into those movies, like that sort of stuff.
Well, how did you feel about Denis' previous sci-fi films, Arrival and Blade Runner 2049?
The thing is, yeah, I really like those movies. Like Denis is like able to like kind of twist and like kind of tell like a big scale sci-fi thing, but still make it like compelling and interesting.
Okay.
But I didn't really feel like that for this movie. Like a lot of the story things, a lot of the story elements, I feel like maybe either I'm the biggest fucking dumbass in the universe, or I just didn't think they were like really explained well. Like one of the things was like Timothée Chalamet's like random powers. Like I don't understand how he got those goddamn powers. Like,
oh, okay.
Did they explain that? Like,
I don't think so, because I was also confused by that too. Because
Yeah.
like when I saw this with a friend of mine, and when I left, I was like, that was really good, but none of the sci-fi mumbo jumbo made any fucking sense to me.
And like
Yeah.
also like
And there's no like in the beginning of like the first Lord of the Rings film, you have like Cate Blanchett like having that monologue where like she basically explains like the necessary lore that you need to understand about like this
Yeah.
universe or whatever.
Like, they
Like there's
explain
nothing
some
like that,
lore,
and
so-
kind of, but like there's nothing like
Yeah.
that in this film. And like if
Yeah.
there's one flaw that I wish the movie had, I wish they had something like that where it's like I don't want like
Yeah.
someone to just lecture me for 5 to 10 minutes. I don't want that at all. But like
Yeah, true.
I would like something like what The Fellowship did, where it's like Cate Blanchett's like explaining like the lore and the history of this universe, but like while she's saying all this, like we're shown like sort of like what happened in the past, you know, like the battle, like the last alliance between men and elves, like to fight off against like Sauron and his armies and stuff like that. We see that
Yeah.
happen as like Cate Blanchett like explains all this stuff. So like I wish, and if there was something like that in this, like I wish like I think it would have improved like sort of like the communication of like lore and like information and shit, because like the most we get is just like the beginning where like Dave Bautista just like screams about like how like this it's unfair or whatever, and like that's
Yeah.
about it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can move on from this. I pretty much said everything I wanted to say, so
Yeah, I've said everything too.
yeah, 8 out of 10 for me. That's a pretty
Yeah.
solid score for me, so pretty fair score. Yeah.
I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. I still enjoyed myself, but meh.
Yeah.
Not the biggest fan of it.
That makes sense. I understand. Okay, and the next film on this list is I think King Richard, right? Is that the next film on this?
Gosh, yeah,
Okay,
King
whatever.
Richard.
I guess I gotta do this. You had to do Don't Look Up. I guess this is my turn. King Richard. It's about Serena and Venus Williams and her dad, their dad,
And they play tennis.
and they play tennis. That's it.
That's it. Yep.
Like I'm no joking. That is literally that's all the movie has. It's just them playing tennis,
they,
learning how to
like-
play tennis, and like being Serena and Venus Williams.
And then
That's
some
it.
family drama bullshit.
Oh yeah, that's for like the.
But that's pretty much it. Like,
yeah, that's like kind of
Yeah.
sidestepped a lot of times, just so that they can have more scenes of them playing fucking tennis.
yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, so
I wonder if you like even are really like good at tennis or really like tennis. I wonder if you'll still like this movie, because it's kind of boring. Like,
the tennis scenes were the only entertaining aspects of the film.
yeah, like there was some like cool like presentation scenes of like showing how they play tennis, but like yeah, this movie was long as fuck as well.
It was 2.5 hours for no fucking reason. It was the same thing
tennis.
over and over again. Yeah, it was
and
just
they didn't even make like the annoying like funny tennis moan noises.
Like, this movie, like, tries to not be cliche, but ends up being cliche, if that makes sense.
Literally.
It's so fucking generic. It is so incredibly boring. Like, it was a miracle for me to sit through this entire thing. Like, I had to take, like, 3 different breaks so I can finish the film, because, like, if this movie was just, like, an hour and a half or something, like, if it was just, like, under 2 hours, like, I would be able to, like, it would be manageable. I would have been able to finish it, but holy shit, it is 2.5 hours long for no fucking reason. It's the same fucking thing over and over again. Just like
this movie
Will
was
Smith,
literally an hour too long. Like,
not only it was an hour and a half too long. This should have been an hour long. Like, I have no clue why it was anything other than an hour, because it was the same thing over and over again. Just like Will Smith being like a shitty dad, and then the Venus and Serena playing tennis, and then some family drama, and then it's just rinse and repeat. It's the same fucking thing. It's Green Book. It seriously is just Green Book.
Oh my
like
God,
it was like
is.
Green Book in the sense that Green Book was the most repetitive fucking film that was nominated that year. It's like just Viggo Mortensen doing some racist shit, Mahershala Ali telling Viggo like why doing racist shit is bad, they reconcile, and then it's just the same thing fucking over and over again for 2.5 hours. Like, who has this fucking time? Like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, it was so boring. I couldn't stand this at all. And I barely remember anything about it too. Like, I don't remember anything other than the tennis sequences. Like, I can't remember anything from the film. I rewatched this last night. Yeah.
I'm blank. Like technically I finished this movie, but like I didn't. I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't. Like, I watched the full thing, but I don't remember any of it.
Yeah,
like,
we didn't really see a movie. We just saw montages of things happen and then end at a certain point.
I think like the one notable thing about this movie is like Will Smith's performance. I don't even think it was amazing or anything, but I kind of liked his dedication into creating like his character.
I was just surprised he could play anyone other than Will Smith.
Yeah, exactly. That was like the thing. Like, I'm surprised by this performance. I'm not amazed by it. I don't think it was amazing. But
wow, Will Smith can play someone other than himself? That's like crazy.
Yeah, but this movie's just boring. Like, it's just boring.
I barely remember what happens. Like, what the hell happened within the 2.5 hours that we saw this? Like, I don't remember what happened.
I entered a new spiritual realm that I didn't know I could unlock. The
state of forgetfulness.
Yeah, the ultimate state of forgetfulness.
I wish I had more to say about this film, but it's so unmemorable and so boring. I literally honestly, don't have anything else to say.
I honestly think we should just make this a quick one. So
let's just skip this. 4 or 3 out of 10. I'll give it 4 because like the tennis sequences were kind of entertaining, but it was so fucking boring, so unmemorable, and so fucking long. I'm done. 4 out of 10. So
like same for me. 4, 3 or something. Just something below a 5 on anything. It can get any number below a 5. I don't give a shit. Okay, so Licorice Pizza is the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie. And it follows the story, this kind of, for me personally, kind of uncomfortable story, like character dynamic between these two characters, where one is essentially this young hotshot actor dude, and the other is this older, much older woman who still kind of has childish tendencies, where like the dude, what's his name? Gary? I think Gary. He's like, he seems a lot older than he is and acts a lot older. So it kind of makes for like this weird character dynamic. And it just follows them in like this little town and the shenanigans they get up to, and the story over what is assumed to be like quite a lengthy period of time, and just the experiences they go through. I really liked it. I also love this film as well. I think this was my second favorite film of last year. I'm a big Paul Thomas Anderson fan, so I'll just eat up anything that he does. And I got a lot out of this. Okay, explain what did this not do for you? I already mentioned it, but I think the relationship dynamic just really did not sit with me. I was like, God, this is making me so uncomfortable. Which is weird because something like Call Me by Your Name doesn't make me uncomfortable, and there's a pretty lengthy age gap. gap.
How big is the age gap between the two on that one?
I think it's like 17 to like 24 or 23. So it's
Oh,
not
wow.
as bad as this
Okay.
one. But like this movie is like a 10-year age gap, and the one kid is like literally still a child. Like I think when you're 15 years old is like there is a lot of maturity and difference to when you're 17 years old. So that's why maybe I can kind of forgive Call Me by Your Name. I think another reason why I kind of more forgive Call Me by Your Name is that there's no like kind of conflict between the characters and weird, I want to say revenge, but it's not really revenge if you can like find a better word. But there's not like this weird like on and off relationship where they dislike each other and then like each other. They're just two people just vibing. But this movie is weird for me, and it makes me uncomfortable, specifically because of the character dynamic, where in a way none of them can really help it, because the one dude is a kid who thinks he's way older than he is, and the other woman she's an older woman, but she thinks she's way younger than she is. And it just makes for this weird...
She is 25. Let's give her some credit. She's not like an old woman or anything.
Okay. She's not like 30 or 40, but she is like... The age gap is there.
Yeah,
I think
like
telling a story like this isn't like that. I don't think it's like something that's not worth telling. I just think what they do with the story at the end, like the very, very end, is like that's kind of like the point where it's like, okay, this is a bit much. Like if they
I agree with you on that.
If they had like this,
you can spoil it if you want. I think I mentioned like we might spoil some things anyway. So
so
if you
spoilers
want to
for Licorice Pizza, people will care about this movie in case you don't want spoilers. But at the end, they run off together in this kind of like cliche ending, and so Alana pretty much reveals that she loves you to Gary, the main character, that she loves him.
Not to me. I would love it if Alana told me that she loved me, but yeah.
She confesses her love, and then they run off, and it's like that. At that moment, I was like, okay, I didn't necessarily dislike the characters, but the way that they explored the characters' relationship, I did not very much vibe with. Personally, I guess like this is where we disagree. I felt a little uncomfortable by the age difference for the first like 10 to 15 minutes. But I think the reason why I got over it is because firstly, like they have a lot of chemistry between each other. Like if there was like zero chemistry between the two, then like, I would like also feel uncomfortable with that from beginning to end. But like they clearly enjoy being in each other's companies. They clearly like each other, and like they have this dynamic where it's like giving each other quips like back and forth, and it's like, and I really appreciated that. And like their performance is also really great too. So like that also helped elevate the chemistry between the two. Like I thought like Alana Haim and like Cooper Hoffman were really great in their specific roles, and like the writing I thought was also pretty good. So that enhanced. It's like like on paper, like this sounds really like uncomfortable and creepy, but because of how it's presented, like I didn't really mind it at all because of like the dynamic that was going on. And plus like I thought that was like sort of the greater thematic like meaning behind the film, because like throughout the film, like Alana just meets like a bunch of random fucking people. Like she meets like Sean Penn at a certain point, and then she meets like Bradley Cooper, and then like one of the directors of like Uncut Gems or whatever, and then Cooper does like his own thing. He's like he starts a business and then another business and then like an acting thing or whatever. So it's like I thought like for me, I was thinking like, like technically they can't be together because of the age difference, but because of like the different people that are in their lives, like who are just really shitty, or just like who are just like creating the sense of like toxicity like within their environment and stuff. It's like it makes sense why they eventually run back to each other. I also agree like the ending, like the last like 5 to 10 minutes was super cliche and like also kind of uncomfortable, but like I think before that build up, like when they hug each other and like they run to each other, like I wasn't really mad about that, because it's like based on everything that I've seen before, it's like it makes sense why they run to each other. It makes like I agree. The last 10 minutes I was like, I could make do with that without that one, but like I thought it was pretty good, so this is like another thing for me where like story didn't so much connect with, but again it's still a fantastically made movie. I like just in the terms of like visual department and presentation. I specifically like the oneer in like that carnival kind of place, and then where like the tone shift where he's like, where he gets like arrested, like it's just so sudden, and I think that was done like really well. And there's a lot of like very good technical elements and stuff, but yeah, I think the story just I did not vibe with it at all. I mean,
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it seems like one of those, like, it seems like a drive my car situation where it's like it's just a matter of like personal preference, how much you get out of it and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, I got a lot out of it, and maybe it's because I'm just a big Paul Tommy Boy Anderson fan. But the film like was really like reminiscent of like some of PTA's earlier films. Like it felt reminiscent of stuff like Boogie Nights and Magnolia and Inherent Vice to a lesser extent. So because not just because they like it's in like the San Fernando Valley or wherever the hell this movie takes place, but it's like the vibe they're going for. It's not like some meticulous drama like There Will Be Blood or what was the dressmaking movie called? Jesus, Phantom Thread. Yeah, it wasn't like that. Obviously, it was going for more of like a quirky, whimsical sort of like, you know, character ensemble piece sort of, you know, get together like Boogie Nights and stuff like that. So it's like I wasn't really expecting a big character piece anyway. So I mean I got a lot out of what I was expecting. So
I think in terms of story, like not specifically with the characters, I think it is a bit like all over the place. But something I did actually read recently or figure out recently was, and you even mentioned it, like Alana meets all these kind of different higher male.
I don't think so. No. Yeah.
And then there's like the whole truck scene thing, like going down the hill, and there's a lot of a lot.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like I thought there was purpose behind that. Like if it was just like a bunch of random shit just going on, then like that would make sense. But like again, like it all comes back to like the characters, you know, like the reason why they're like thrown into these situations in the first place is because it was like it made sense within the context of the film. Like it wasn't just random shit for the sake of random shit. Like there was purpose behind like why they kept throwing him in this. Like first there was like an oil crisis, and then like then like the presidential campaign, and then all this other shit. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so
I just think like it was at some points for me personally, I think it was just a bit jarring being introduced to so many different characters that in the end like did have their purpose at points, but like didn't feel like they were used to their full potential, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
I thought they would do something way more with Bradley Cooper. They didn't really do that.
So did I. I thought like Bradley Cooper and Sean Penn would have like more of a big role in this movie, considering that they're big name actors. But no, they just show up for one scene and that's it. So
but yeah, no. Overall, it was still a good movie. I think this is just another one where I feel like out of the norm.
Yeah,
because a lot of people love this movie, and obviously it's Paul Thomas Anderson, so there's that big prestige behind it.
Yeah, anyway, we can move on. I don't think I have much.
I feel like my argument and like what I said.
No, what you made sense.
Really that.
It made sense. Like it made sense. Like it just wasn't for you. It just didn't connect with me. That's fine, you know. Yeah, like fine. Just certain films don't really connect with me, and that's just how it is. So. And I'll give this one an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I don't know, one of those things. So
that's cool. Yeah, I think this is a 6 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
I still liked it.
Next is Nightmare Alley. So I guess I can take this one.
Alrighty.
Yeah, Nightmare Alley. So this is the new Guillermo del Toro film. Another Bradley Cooper vehicle, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So. And it's just basically a movie about this guy played by Bradley Cooper, Stan Carlisle. He's like a con man. He's a showman sort of thing, and he basically joins a carny for like the first third of the film, and then once that happens, the actual story of the movie starts, where he does like his card tricks or whatever. But then like he goes about wanting to like scam this like big rich guy played by Richard Jenkins, and so he teams up with like Cate Blanchett, and then like some noir shit happens, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know what else happens in the movie beyond that. So,
I feel like we've talked about Cate Blanchett a lot today. She was also in Don't Look Up. Yeah.
Well, Cate Blanchett is an amazing person, and I
Definitely.
I love Kate Blanchett so much. So yeah. I really
Nightmare
liked this.
Alley.
Yeah, I liked this. Yeah, I don't think this is like Guillermo's like best movie or anything. Like
Oh, definitely not.
I like Shape of Water and fucking
I mean,
what was
Pan's Labyrinth is
Pan's
just not.
Labyrinth. Yeah, like those
Yeah.
movies are obviously better than this, but like this is by no means his worst film either. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. You know, so I mean, not literally all I have to say. I obviously have other things, but yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think this was one of the ones that one of my more favorite ones out of the nominees, which was surprising because the poster and the trailer for this movie looked like dog shit.
oh yeah,
Like-
me too. I thought it was
like-
awful. Yeah.
I saw the poster and I was like, okay, this looks pretty bad. And then the reviews like were kind of like lukewarm, so I was like, okay. And then like I saw the trailer at like the screening for another movie and I was like, yeah, this really doesn't look good. And then I watched it and I really liked it and I had a ton of fun with it. Yeah. Again, it's not the greatest story ever told.
I mean,
but
it's a
think
remake, so like, you know,
Yeah.
how big can you really get with something like this? So yeah.
Yeah. But I think it comes together nicely, and it rounds out very well. And yeah, I kind of liked the story and the characters and what they did with it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't think I liked this as much as you did. I
That's all right.
honestly, I didn't really like the first like 20 to 30 minutes of the movie, if I'm being honest. Like, I honestly thought
Yeah.
like the first 20 to 30 minutes was kind of a waste of time because like the actual story of the film doesn't start until like Stan Carlisle does his like magic shit in front of like Kate Blanchett. Like, I was like, oh, so like the actual story is happening now. So like we can just
Yeah.
like drop this like set dressing or whatever. Like, I understand like why the first 20 to 30 minutes needed to happen. Like, Willem Dafoe needed to explain like what a geek was and like where like Bradley Cooper like needed to like learn his magic shit or whatever from like David
Yeah.
Stratham and like Tony Collette and all these people. But it's like it just went on for so fucking long. I was like, I like in my mind I was like, this clearly isn't the main story you're trying to tell. Like, can we just speed this up and like get to like the actual story of the film? And the actual story itself was interesting. It was pretty fun and I was entertained. But I was just sitting here going like, I mean, I've seen stuff like this before. You know, I've seen
Yeah.
like movies like this before, and it's like what I love about Del Toro's work is that he's just so creative. He's so
Yeah.
weird in terms of not just like costume design, but also like set design and like practical
Oh,
like
I
special
love that
effects
from
and
this
stuff
movie.
like that.
The production design.
I got
I
a lot of
loved it.
production design from like the Carney shit, but like after that, it was like it just wasn't like up to his standard. If you ask me, it's like even some of his like lesser films like Pacific Rim is like not a masterpiece or anything, but it's like there's so much going on in terms of like production design and like special effects and like
Yeah.
and it's like it's so creative in terms of like how he chooses to like do all that stuff. And here it's like it's just like 1950s like setting era like buildings and clothes and stuff like that, but like that was about it. Like I didn't get much of like sort of like the crazy creative like production value that I was expecting from like
Yeah, I
a
guess
Pan's
so.
Labyrinth or like a
Yeah.
Shape of Water type of thing. But I don't know, that's
Oh,
just
yeah,
me. So,
sure.
yeah, I was entertained. I really did. I had fun. I really enjoyed this movie, so you know, what are you gonna do?
I enjoyed it a lot too. I think I did like it a lot more than you. I think you said you were bored by like the first 30 minutes or whatever. I think I just really liked the aesthetic of it a lot. Like,
Well, I guess bored is too extreme. I wasn't bored. I was just
Yeah, no.
unengaged. I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
unengaged,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, because like I
Yeah.
liked the aesthetic too. Like I liked the production value of the Carney stuff. I just
Yeah.
wish there was more of a point to it.
yeah, I agree. It did kind of feel like it was there to set up like the rest of the movie. But yeah, I think like Guillermo's definitely like a very like a fantasy-esque kind of director. And even though this movie didn't have like pretty much any fantasy elements, I still think I got like that whimsical experience from the film, and I really like that kind of vibe. So
Oh yeah,
I really
liked
like this.
I liked
movie.
the tone of the film a lot. Like and
Yeah.
and I particularly loved the ending. I thought like the ending was pretty effective.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. I think
Yeah.
it like came together just so well.
It
Even
was
though
really classic Del Toro stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So-
kind of. I mean, people were saying it was predictable. I don't think it was. I didn't predict it really at all.
I don't know.
but
I kind of thought it was predictable. Yeah. So, yeah.
I didn't predict it. I did think it was a bit cheesy, but I kind of liked it. I really liked how it came together like that.
Yeah, it was fun. You know, I want to keep emphasizing it was fun. I had way more fun with this than like something like CODA, obviously. But like, yeah, it was just, I don't know. I guess like the reason why I'm kind of disappointed is because like I like Del Toro's work, and like I expected more from this film because like he really set the standard with stuff like Pan's Labyrinth and Shape of Water, so I was expecting something like that again, and it wasn't bad. It just kind of like I was expecting more, if that makes sense. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, maybe I just went into it like not expecting much, so I got out like a lot more than what I thought I was gonna get, you know? So...
I know, but it's like, even if the trailer and the poster is like dog ass, it's like, you know, it's Del Toro. You kind of need to expect quality, right? You know, like Pacific Rim looked terrible, but like I had fun watching Pacific Rim, you know?
I think I kind of like forgot it was like a Del Toro. Like I knew it was, but like and I love his other films, like I love Pan's Labyrinth, but like yeah, I think I was just kind of in the of that like vibe, like, or like that mood, like damn, Edgar Wright failed on his most recent movie, and like there's some other directors that aren't putting out like as good stuff as like their other movies recently, probably because of like COVID and just the state of the world and stuff. So I guess I was just kind of in that mood, and I just got something that I was pleasantly surprised with. So yeah,
that makes sense. So
I'd give it like a high 7 out of 10 probably.
Yeah, this is also a 7 out of 10 for me. It's closer to a 6 than a 7, but yeah, still a 7. So I think you'll be really excited for this one. This is, I think, Power of the Dog is the next one. Yeah, so
this was my favorite of the Best Picture nominees, and the one that's likely to win. So that's kind of cool. That I thought so. that this was the best one. But yeah, I think so The Power of the Dog is the newest film from Jane Campion, which would be very cool to see like another woman director finally win an Oscar. The directing in this movie is really well done. This is like very much a movie where it comes together at the end, like everything just falls into place so well, and it's like, that was really well done. But yeah, it tells the story of like this higher end family in this area that are quite wealthy, and they own a ranch. And one of the brothers, so there's one of the brothers is more modest and friendly, played by Jesse Plemons. And then there's Benedict
Cumberbatch
character,
Eggs Benedict Cumberbun. So.
Bend that dick, Cumberbitch. He's more of like a more traditional kind of rancher, kind of cowboy dude. And Jesse Plemons' character meets Kirsten Dunst, and they start forming a relationship, and eventually her family intertwines with Jesse Plemons, and it's kind of like this drama between the younger son and, well, actually the whole family, and kind of their experiences with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, it's the most extreme case of lol pranked, haha. So
yeah, I should probably get their names because I don't remember their names.
Yeah, well, Cody Smith-McPhee plays like the son of Kirsten Dunst, I think, right? Yeah. And I think
I just don't know the actual.
Oh yeah, I don't remember either. I remember Benedict Cumberbatch's character is Phil Burbank, right? Phil Burbank, something like that.
So
yeah,
Phil, Rose was Kirsten Dunst, George was Jesse Plemons, and Peter was.
That was it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pete. Come over here, Pete. But yeah, it's a very well-made movie.
So I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Western genre. So it's like something has to be incredibly well made for me to give a shit about a Western. And I think this is one of the better ones that I've seen. This is actually my first Jane Campion film. I've never seen anything else from her. So like, I'm really excited to check out more of her stuff.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen anything else.
Yeah, after this. Yeah, and I also got a lot out of it. I was getting really impatient for the first half of the film. I was really getting like, I was like, where is this leading up to? I was kind of frustrated, but then like, yeah, it kind of like comes together near the end. Like it rewards you for your patience. So it's like once the second half occurs and like they explore the relationship between like Benedict Cumberbatch and Cody Smith-McPhee, I was like really engaged. I was like, oh shit, like I sort of get this now. I'm really digging this, you know? So like when that final scene happens where basically Cody Smith-McPhee's character kills like Phil, like not like directly, but like through like the with like the dead like skin or whatever from the cow, and like using that to like trick him into
everything
that was awesome. I love
so
shit like that. Also spoilers,
yeah, spoilers. But yeah, I think like it's not too in your face, like about
it was
how
so
they
subtle. I didn't
handle
actually pick it up until like the last couple minutes of the film. I was like, oh wait, that just happened. Like I was like, that's awesome, you know. So
yeah, I think all the performances like are really well done too. I do think Jesse Plemons kind of weighs down the performance aspect.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he literally does the same thing every single time.
He was literally just Todd from Breaking Bad, like but as a cowboy. Yeah.
Like it kind of works for his character in the movie, I guess you could say, but like he's just been doing the same thing.
But yeah, the real standout for me was definitely Benedict Cumberbatch. I was really surprised that the performance that he did, because I did not, when I think darn tootin' dirty Dan cowboy, like Benedict Cumberbatch is like nowhere near like the first person that I think of.
Yeah, no.
But he pulls it off surprisingly well. But at the same time, even if you didn't think he like pulled it off very well, there's also a point to that, because like he's clearly trying to like make up for like lost masculinity or something, because like the film is about toxic masculinity, and like the way they explore it
definitely
in his character I thought was like really interesting. I was like, this is kind of cool.
And also Cody Smith McPhee as well. I think he does a really great job.
I loved him too.
At conveying like this kind of like neurodivergent character. Everything that he does up until that he does in like conveying kind of someone that I personally relate to. And the hula hoop scene, like perfection, obviously. But I think the girl from Jojo Rabbit was kind of distracting. Like in the movie, like
she was in this.
Like, she's here.
But in all honesty, I thought the way the film was shot made it feel too modern and too like 2022 or whatever. Like there were certain like wide and landscape shots where it's like, I swear to God, that looked like digital effects. I don't know. Maybe that was just me, but
there were some weirdly digital looking things in this movie.
Yeah.
Like when he's cutting up the cow, not like the close up, but like the shot before that.
Yeah, I understand.
Like,
I know what you're talking about.
It looked like a CG fucking cow. I was
That's
like,
what I thought too. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, that took me out so fucking hard for a second. Yeah. So.
But I think like most of the production and like visual presentation aspects were really well done. I did like a lot of the shots. I really loved the sequence where like it faded in and then like he instantly notices the dog shadow, and like again that's kind of like symbolism between the two characters of like how when you're like obviously like someone that's more analytical and neurodivergent and like kind of focuses on like sensory things around you, like you wouldn't definitely notice something like that in the shadows. And then obviously like the cowboy Benedict Cumberbatch didn't see it, but in that sense, I totally agree with you. I didn't know what the power of the dog meant specifically. Like someone told me it was from a Bible verse, and I was like, I don't know, I'm not religious at all, so I don't know what the hell that means. I'm not religious I'm not religious at all too. But yeah, I think there was a segment in the movie where Benedict Cumberbatch was actually reading the verse, and he does and in that paragraph there is kind of like themes that relate to what's going on in the movie, and then eventually he does say the power of the dog. Definitely there was that kind of did relate to like the dog that is seen in the shadow, but I think that was more of like the kind of like the establishing like the kind of contrasting character dynamic the characters had instead of the kind of the like relating to the title, you know?
Yeah.
And I think their character dynamic worked really well, like, and kind of how like Cody Smith McPhee almost tricks Benedict Cumberbatch into like. And it's kind of like the more you think about it, you're more like, wow, this kid is kind of evil.
Yeah. He comes off across as like a wimp, you know? He's like
very wimpy and like innocent, and then it kind of hits him. And there's definitely this theme of like protection in the movie. Like Jesse Plemons obviously wants to protect Kirsten Dunst from Phil, the cowboy, and Phil kind of wants to protect his legacy. That's why he he doesn't want to know that he's like gay, and like hides all this backstory with
lots of macho manness.
And then obviously there's the sense of protection of like Kirsten Dunst over Peter, and like she kind of feels uncomfortable with the fact that he's spending time with Phil. Then there's even that goes even deeper when there's like literally killing Benedict Cumberbatch in order to like protect his mother.
Yeah, and it makes you
this kind of character, and
it makes you think like all the time that Cody Smith McPhee spent with like Phil, he wasn't doing it because like he wanted to spend time with him and like get to know him or bond with him or whatever. He did it so like he can learn more about him, so like he can like once he has his guards down, he can like manipulate him. It was like really cool. It was like Manny from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It's like Manny is this like cute little like kid, but it turns out he's this like manipulative, emotional little like bitch. So yeah,
like, reflected a bit earlier, like with the rabbit. Like he kind of spent time with the rabbit and like nursed it before actually like killing it and like studying it. And
what a sicko.
Yeah, I think this was a really well made movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. It was just really well made. It was really good. I didn't really connect with this as much as you did, but I think this was very well made, and I liked a lot of what it was going for. Right. 7 out of 10 for me. So yeah, closer to an 8 than a 6, but still a 7. So yeah,
I think I'm like very similar rating wise, but I think maybe I liked it more. I don't know. I think I'm literally like on the verge of giving this an 8. Like maybe if I watch it again, I will.
Yeah,
like,
then give it an 8 then. Yeah, so
like 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I really liked it.
Yeah, and then the last film nominated for Best Picture that we should talk about is West Side Story. Yay!
Yep.
Let's just
we
get this over with.
We totally saved the best one for last.
Obviously, yeah. Let's just get this over with. So this is a remake of the 1960 West Side Story. It's basically Romeo and Juliet, but set in 1960s New York, and with gangs and racism, I guess. It's also a musical, so expect a lot of musical numbers and stuff like that. So here's an important context for me. I don't generally like musicals, especially these kinds of musicals, the musicals where like they just pretend to be normal movies and then they just randomly break out into like song and dance or whatever. Like this was like a staple in like the movies in like 1950s and 60s, like when it came to musicals like this. And so I watched for the first time the original West Side Story just so I could get some context like for the film, and I did not like it at all. I did not like it whatsoever. I did not understand why people considered it a classic. Like the music is obviously really great in that, and like I think Rita Moreno, like this, I won't talk about it long, it's just like for some context, I thought Rita Moreno was like really great in the film, and her Oscar win was like justified, and obviously the music is fantastic, but I literally got nothing out of this film. And so with this remake,
I think the movie was like, okay, so you're not
now with the remake, it's like, because it's Spielberg, I was expecting some kind of like emotional connection to it, because like say what you will about Spielberg, but like Spielberg gets you to like feel a specific way with his films, like especially stuff like E.T. and like Jurassic Park and like Jaws and shit like that. And I literally felt nothing watching the film. I got like the same way I had zero emotional connection to the original 1960s film. I had like zero emotional connection to this movie. I will give it this. I think on a technical level, this is a massive improvement upon the original film. Like this has such a cinematic quality to it that was lacking in the original film. Like the way the way the scenes were blocked, like the way like characters would move around, and like the way the camera would move around, like following the characters movement and stuff like that. Like I thought that was actually really impressive. Like I liked the cinematography of the film. I thought it was like really well made on that end. And like obviously like the music and the dance choreography and like the musical sections are obviously really good too. Like on a technical level, the film is really good, and like I think it's an improvement upon the original. But it's my issue with the film is the same thing I had with the original, that the core story of the film is something I seriously could give a fuck. I did not give a single shit about what was happening in the film. I did not relate to any of these characters. I did not connect with any of the characters. Ansel Elgort was bad. I didn't think he was good in the movie.
It was really weird seeing him after his whole controversy. It was...
Well, not just that, he can't emote to save his fucking life, and I just don't think he can sing as well as the other characters at all. Like, everyone does a great job.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Ansel Elgort, like, back in 2017 with Baby Driver, he had the movie where he didn't have to speak at all, and now he has this movie where he just has to sing the whole time and constantly open his mouth, and it's so distracting and weird.
Yeah, that's why he was so good at Baby Driver, because he shut the fuck up. He didn't say anything, and now he can't stop talking in this film, and it's like, dude, shut the fuck up and don't sing.
This movie, same with you. I did not connect with it. I did not care about anything. It was boring. I didn't even like the music. I just was very in the middle, like whatever, sure, there's some charm to this. There's some cool technical aspects, I guess. But
it was
also
so tonally inconsistent too. Like you can't, like there's a section where it's like, oh, Mr. Krupke, like I'm just like I'm a messed up kid or whatever. Like you can't have this shit in the same movie as like intense gang violence. I'm sorry, you can't have that shit in the same movie. Like pick one. Like either go the goofy route or go the serious route. You can't have both. Like, and it just doesn't work tonally, you know? So,
and even like in a movie about like gang violence, just having it as a musical as well is kind of really distracting.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like maybe if it was done in like a more fun way, but I mean, I guess this movie was really trying to be fun. I guess I just didn't connect with it at all. Like,
yeah, I will say this. I don't know what it is about the character of Anita, who's played by Ariana DeBose in this one. Like, but like she's easily my favorite character, because like Rita Moreno, who played this character in the 60s, was also my favorite character in the entire film. Not because I like emotionally connected with her, but because like she has so much energy and like life to like not just like her performance, but for like the way she sings, like, and her dance choreography, like the whole like America song, like I want to be in America.
The choreography was really well done. And
but it's just, I wish I gave a shit, you know, like I don't know. I don't even like.
I don't even wish. I just was like, whatever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like I don't like the Romeo and Juliet the play at all. So when you make a movie based on that, it's like, I mean, how much am I really gonna connect with this? You know? So it's like. Maybe if Ansel Elgort was just a better actor, maybe I would have cared a little more, but it's like he was just not good in the film at all. I was not convinced. His singing wasn't even on par with everyone else. Like everyone else does a pretty decent job with their singing, like, but he's just so bad. Maria or whatever her name was.
No, I'm just saying, as Ansel Elgort was like the main guy, and when you're the main person and you're not like giving the same energy and like I don't know, same level of performance to the literal side characters in the movie, then you know there's something up.
And apparently Spielberg wanted Ansel. Like he wanted Ansel to play this character specifically. God. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking.
I think they needed someone like at least a smidge bit popular to get this movie funded. I finished like most of it, and then I had to like skip through the ending because I just couldn't get.
Because the ending was so cliche, and it was so totally inconsistent too. It's like it got so dark for literally no reason.
Yeah, they were like the characters were like begging to like kill each other, and like Ansel Elgort was like, oh, please kill me too, and I was like, what the fuck?
What the hell is this shit?
Like,
this is so melodramatic. This got like to CODA level vibes of like cheesiness and melodramaticness. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, yeah, it was like cheesy in the opening, but it was like, at least it like fit the tone of the film, but then it just goes so fucking far deep into the ocean. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, are you serious right now? And like Anita's like, I hate America now. Like, you tell her like you killed Maria and stuff like that. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I feel like I guess I'm just not the target audience for a movie like this, because like
I think so too. Like, it really wasn't my kind of thing.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I normally like musicals, but like I think I agree with you too. Like there needs to be some like elevated charm to it that's not just like a regular like movie, except there's also music in it, and the tone just is super weird because of that.
And it's like the transitions to normal dialogue to tone was to musical was so fucking jarring, if you ask me. Like, they randomly talk about like, let's get rid of those fucking sharks or jets or whatever, and then they sing and twirl around. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, are you serious? Like, that's so tonally inconsistent, and that happens every 20 minutes in the film. I was like, I can't take this seriously. Like, how do you expect me to take a movie where like these like tough gangsters are like twirling around and throwing garbage at people. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to take this seriously if shit like this happens like every 15 to 20 minutes?
It was just distracting.
And Ansel Elgort just going on about how like I killed a kid and like it's really gotten affected me, and it's like I can't do that again. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, you are
Literally.
like, I am not convinced by a single word that's coming out of your mouth. Like, fuck. Jesus. Whatever. I'm done talking about this. I don't want to talk about this anymore. So,
That's totally respectable.
I literally don't have anything else to say. Like, what else is there in the
neither.
movie besides the music? Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, nothing else. This is like personally, this is like a 5 out of 10 for me, but it's like, on a technical level, this is well made. Like, I can't ignore that. So like technically this is a 6 out of 10, but like personally, this is like a 5 out of 10 for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a 5 out of 10 too. Yeah.
And, those
Just-
are the
it's just
the
like,
Oscars.
Those are the Oscar nominations and our thoughts.